This is a great clinic we've been waiting to have for a while now. We have an alum from 1994 who studied with us in the summer of 1994 and then came back again in 2011. Has a absolutely fantastic educational drum book called actually, let me just get a copy of it. This is the Drum Grillbook, and it is an absolutely amazing book. And there's a lot of education in here, drum education for anybody that is interested in improving their skills. There's a lot of things in here that I think people will benefit from. So if you have a chance, if you're home online, please check it out. I'm sure you'll hear more about the book later this afternoon or this evening. With that, I'm not going to keep everybody waiting. I'd like to now bring up our special guest all the way from Holland, Mr. Ancel Klooster.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Okay, Tony, thank you so much for having me here at a collective. I have very good memories, as you told before. I came here in '94, had fantastic lessons with the late Kim Plainfield, Adam Nussbaum, Horacio Hernandez, even Max Roach. It was fantastic, so I'm very delighted to be here. Thank you so much. Okay, about the Drum Grillbook, actually the title comes from groove plus fill is grill. And I will tell you later everything about it. And let's start. Before I forget, I owe a lot of thanks to Peter Deiman, in American language, Peter Deiman. Without him, there would not have been this book. So thank you, Peter. It's great to have had your help. And yeah, we have a lot of work to do, so I say let's start. Maybe we can start with the most famous groove of all. So I would like to join you also at home. The most famous groove of the whole world. This drummer is a big millionaire. The band is well known from Moscow to Peking. So I'll start with that. And so on. You all know which groove it is. We Will Rock You from Queen was my first favorite drummer of all time. I loved it. And I was wondering what would have happened when this groove would have been played like this. Would it have been the same world famous groove? I don't know. It's up to you to decide that. Why am I starting with this groove? It's actually a group of three. First example of groupings from three. Okay, let me go on with the most famous fill in the world. I think you all know that. The word says it, Phil Collins. Let me play it. Everybody knows this fill, from Moscow to Peking, Amsterdam, Winschoten. Everyone knows it. What would have been this groove, this fill, with the bass added to this fill? So before, without a bass. I add the bass drum. That would have been a whole other story. But a second example of groupings. 1, 2, 3. So I keep, when I continue it playing. 2 examples of groupings, and later in this clinic I will explain everything about groupings. First of all, I'm not a guy who invented groupings. No way. It is all the good drummers have used it before. Gary Chaffee wrote a fantastic book about it, and I use the groupings to give structure to the method, and it helps to create grooves, fills, and especially grills. Okay, let me give you an example of how a lot of drummers play grooves and play fills, and especially classical trained drummers like in Holland, guys who played in drum bands, mallet bands, here in America, drum corps. They have fantastic rudiments. They use them a lot in fills, and let me show what I mean. What happens is a lot of drummers use a lot of bass drum in the groove, and not a single bass drum in the fills. That is what happens a lot, and you can solve this if you want to. You can use more bass drum like this. So the fill gets more body. It sounds much heavy. What you also can do is not only play the quarter note, but the eighth notes with it. So that will sound like this. Said before, it gives much more body to the fills. It's actually what older jazz drummers used to do. Kind of Gene Krupa style. And it offers a lot of body, solid body to the fills. Okay, let me continue. There are maybe two types of drummers. Maybe you guys recognized it. On one hand, groove drummers. I demonstrated. Oh, yeah. Let me ask you, how many fills will I play now? I think only one. Okay. Other type of drummers, much more fun, maybe, are, how to call it, the fill drummers, the freaky drummers, the virtuoso drummers. It's kind of this. I love it. Man, I love to freak out. I used to do it when I was younger. But okay, when you're playing in a band, please, groove first. That's so important. It's like what Steve Gadd, grooves pay the bills, fills give the thrills. Okay, and it's up to you to decide what kind of drummer you are. Steve Jordan has got a new drummer for the Rolling Stones because he's a groove drummer. He's a fantastic groove drummer. Steve Gadd, most fantastic groove drummer. And of course, he plays fantastic, wonderful solos, but he's asked for his grooves. Well known for his grooves. Okay, next question. I'll play some stuff. I will ask you afterwards a question. Okay. With how many sticks did I play? 2 sticks. Almost good. Watch what happens. 1, 2. Aha. Hey. Actually, a 3rd stick, right? This is from Vic Firth. I love it. So, what you learn when you use the Drum Grillbook, you will use much more bass drum. Bass drum will integrate in your playing, and you will definitely develop your weaker hand. In my case, the left hand, for the most of us, I think. Okay. This clinic will be about grills, groupings of 2s, 4s, and 6 notes. Then I continue with 3, 5, and 7, and it increases in difficulty. So when we have a lot of time left, there's some time left, I talk about polyrhythms, linear grooves, 30-second notes, paradiddles, and improvisation. I hope to talk about these features. Okay, and I will explain and demonstrate some tracks. And at the end, I will play a short solo. Okay. I said before, the Grillbook is offering you structure in developing craft and creativity. And I think that's important. What I use is the themes derived from groupings, and I use them as phrases, as themes, as based on melodies played in bands. So I hope people will notice this is a musical method, and based on recommendations by Peter Deiman, Adam Nussbaum, Alex Acuna, I'm so extremely happy with that. They call it a quite musical method. So I'm very happy with these recommendations. Okay. My lesson started at age 10. I had lessons with Wim Niemeyer. Mooi Wim, thank you for the fantastic lessons in that period at the music school. At that period, Wim studied with Steve Gadd, and I was influenced by his way of playing. At that time, this fantastic Steve Gadd groove came along. Written down in the method of Rick Latham, and I studied my ass off in that book. So, buy that book of Rick Latham. Afterwards, I had also a lesson with Roy Dacus, and he also came up with these groupings. It was also a fantastic time. And as Tony said before, at 94, I came to New York. I wanted to develop myself as a better drummer. And I was so lucky to have had lessons with Zach Denziger. And it was amazing. He was 22, I was 26. So, okay, but at that time he played about 20 times better than I, and he still plays about 10 times better than I do. But okay, it was so much fun. Zach Denziger told me he also has had lessons when he was 15 at the Drummers Collective, when Steve Gadd came along. And he also provided me with these groupings. So, enough of the talking. A lot of groupings are used in fills. For example, 4s, group of 4. 2 on the snare, 2 on the bass. Used in groove. Example of groups of 6. 4 on the snare, 2 on the bass. And so on and so on. A little faster. Okay, let's continue with some more difficult stuff. Groups of 5. 3 on the snare, 2 on the bass. These were the 5s. Continue with 7s, and I play 4 and 3. So the 4 will be 2 snare, 2 bass. The 3 will be 2 snare, 1 bass. Okay, put that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put it together. The last one was amazing. It wasn't 7, but I think it was great. Okay, let's go on. What we do with the groupings is, actually it has 2 advantages. We add more pulse to the fills, and we add more color to the grooves. Let me explain that. We'll start with the 2s. So we have had the 4th. The 2s are simply 1 snare, 1 bass. What helps for me, and I hope helps for you too, is I play with my left hand on the snare, right hand on the floor tom. So I practice like this. Big advantage is you practice the right hand and also the left hand. There is a video of Vinnie Colaiuta playing at the Siljan show, I think way back '84, together with Dave Wacko and Steve Gadd. And Vinnie is amazing. Everyone knows, but he plays this extreme fast 2s in, how is it called in American? Triplets, 16th note triplets. Check it out, it's amazing. Yeah, okay. What I do, I use the 2s as a fill. Okay. Next step to develop the grills is I start to play these groupings in 8th notes. I play the hi-hat in quarter notes. I double it in time, so I make it a groove. And at last, I turn the groove into a grill. I start coloring on the toms. Let's continue with the fourth notes. Groups of 4. That's how it's supposed to be pronounced. Again, groups of 4. Same. Quarter notes. I'll double it in time to make the grooves. I add colors to it. The fun of using groupings is you can make your own choices in coloring it. This is not a book about, okay, you should play here tom 1, you should play here tom 2 or floor tom. No, you make your own decisions, so you have a lot of creativity to make it your own. Another variation, inversion, is the same groupings of fourth, only I start with the bass drum. It's kind of a samba feel. You play the pattern of the bass drum as a samba. But when you play the samba, don't play a loud kick. Play it soft. Like this. A lot of people play Latin and they use a lot of cowbell. And so on. And okay, you can do that. It's used a lot. And when you play it with a samba, you start with a pattern of your bass drum and hi-hat. Personally, I don't like it so much. It's so heavy. And what I prefer when I play a samba is leave it up to the 8th notes. And so on, okay. But that's only my opinion. It gives it more relaxed feel. You start more to feel, think in and feel in two. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. No. When people dance on Brazilian music, they dance in it's more in two feel. So that's my humble opinion. Okay. Let's continue with the group of 6. Applied in grills, as said before. I played groups of 6 notes like these. 4 on the snare, 2 on the bass drum. When I and Peter and I were developing this system, I found out that playing 6 notes 4 with your left hand is quite difficult. So I decided to split them up and play instead of this these notes. These are the group of 6 notes that I use. When I add the pulse to it, again, make your own choices of the coloring. Okay, let's continue with a very important group, the group of 3s. Might be a misunderstanding. Group of 3s are not necessarily triplets. Of course, they are played in triplets a lot, also in jazz. Way back in '94, I remember I went up, when I was in New York, I went up to Harlem and there was a jazz festival. Roy Haynes was playing there. It was an amazing experience for me. He still lives, he's still playing. He's a fantastic, iconic drummer. And there is one recording CD, Roy Haynes, he told us live on CD, man, I did it. Did it and did it and did it. But I did it and did it and did it. He said Art did it. Art Blakey. Alvin did it. Max did it. But I did it and did it and did it. I think it's quite funny. Okay. This has been said. These triplets, when you use and apply it to 16th notes, then I come back to the world famous Phil of Phil Collins. Groupings of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When I play it, I don't count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. I try to think of the themes. When I play this fill, actually I start thinking and da da di di do 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 da da da. That's the theme, and that's also a theme that you hear a lot in recordings and music and live music as well. So when I use this theme, that's a rhythm that's played only by the snare drum. Now, when I add the bass, it sounds like this. And so on. You can add the hi-hat with it to make sure where the pulse is. So, okay, let me play this for you. I start with 8 notes. I make it quarter notes. I'll double it in time to make it kind of a groove. And with my left hand, I added toms. Back in '94, I'm still remembering stuff. Now being here at the SoundCollective, formerly known as the Drummers Collective, I had a lesson with Ricky Sebastian. Thank you, Ricky. And he said to me, put your sticks away. But I said, I'm a drummer. How can I play? No, we talk only about feet only. And that's what this is called. When I play this fill, and I add a hi-hat, Ricky told me, okay, now focus only on your feet. It helps you developing this groove. When you talk about timing, pulse, very good advice. I use that advice to add a backbeat with it, so I will use the same rhythm of the bass drum based on these groupings of 3. Okay. Next is only practicing left hand. And what I did, I add 4 on the floor with it. So again, the fill is this. Only the snare. With hi-hat. Also, a lot of fun to play these groupings of 3 when you play the snare and your right hand at the same time. Or you decide to play the right hand together with your bass drum. All variations to the same theme. Okay, I think I skipped some notes of 3. There's an important inversion. So instead of 2 with the hands, 1 on the bass. And now I get back to Roger Taylor. I played this figure as a group of 3. Again, to build it up, I play it with 8 notes. I play the right hand quarter notes. I double it in time to make it a groove. I add color with my left hand to the toms. And so on. Okay. Let me play a song for you. How to apply this, all this technical stuff, and make it to a musical something, a song. Okay. I need some time to, yeah, here we are. It's called the Grillbook Funky Pop, okay. With Hammond, I love Hammond. Okay, groupings of 3 applied to a musical song. Okay, let's continue with groups of 5. As said before, 3 on the snare, 2 on the bass. When you use this in grooves, in grills, guys like Terry Bozzio can play this. I've made a decision not to write this down, and I changed it into instead of this, I play this. I love it. I hope you too. Okay. The groupings of 5. Again, when I build it up, I play it all the time. And you practice it in 8th notes, quarter notes, and I skip that part. I will play the groove in this tempo. So now with the hi-hat. Now I make it into a grill. When I add a backbeat to it, I play the bass drum part only. And I add the backbeat on 2 and 4. 3, 4. So a lot of bass drum, and it makes the grooves and the grills very earthy and powerful. When I play the 4 on the floor and only play my left hand part, so the snare part, it will sound like this. Okay, let's continue with an version of the 5. I love this one in particular. It's a 3rd variation, and it starts with 2 bass drums. I have another song in 5. So I'd like to play it in a song, in a musical setting, instead of... that's one thing I wanted to point out. This is not about math or about counting. It's about music. And so try to remember these groupings as phrases, as musical phrases. So, of course, when you start to practice these groupings, you have to count to 5. But then, as fast as possible, try to remember the themes derived from these groupings. So try to remember. That's a melody. I will play this grill in the next song. Okay. Now, actually, the sevenths, I can be short about that to win some time and close this part of the book. Sevenths are played like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Put together. Faster. What I do, I don't play this particular fill. I could have written this. I've decided to make these groupings of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put it together. Groups of 7s. Okay. I have a song with different groupings. This particular song is about groupings of 3, 5s, and 7s, and I mix it all up. And that's important. When I play and improvise, I don't think, okay, now I play 3, 5, or 7. I mix it all up, and I can demonstrate. For example, when I play this. I haven't got a clue what I play. I play only what I feel. It comes out, and it's not about, okay, 3, 5, 7. In this song, I mix it all up, and I'll demonstrate what happens when you mix all these groupings up, all these grills. Okay. Thank you, thank you. I'd like to talk about the next item, polyrhythms, more rhythms at the same time. Actually, I wanted to go back to Europe, where I come from. Since I don't come from England or Austria, I'd like to explain something. It handles about groupings of 3. When I play the waltz, English waltz, very slow. No, too fast. Okay, remember this waltz, grouping of 3. When I make it in version, and I add 1 bass drum to it, sounds already more complex. I have played a lot of dance music, all these waltz types, cha-cha, foxtrot, and so on. Please don't make it polyrhythmic. People won't dance anymore. It's only fun when you adapt these polyrhythms in jazz, fusion type of music, pop, metal. Okay, I said I would start with this combination. When I add this extra bass drum, then the fun is getting started. Okay. Another coordination starts also with the famous waltz. And why am I referring to a waltz? Please start slowly. When you are going to practice this and you're playing it fast, you will end up with groupings of 4. So be exact and try to make it group of 3. I add another bass drum. So polyrhythmical, snare and bass combined. And that sounds like this. Okay, it's quite hard to play, but it's a lot of fun. And you can also adapt this to, for example, I love New Orleans music. I wanted to, actually I wanted to play this now. So I'm quite in schedule. Let me demonstrate it. The most important, actually it's a kind of a clave for New Orleans music. When you start a counter rhythm with a snare, so you play this with the bass drum, kind of 3/2 clave. Bass will continue this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and you play a whole lot other snare drum figure. Snare drum figure will kind of 2/3 type rhythm will be. It sounds like this. That's the snare part. When I combine this with a 3/2 clave in the bass drum, it will sound like this. And these New Orleans types of grooves have been the base, the basic rhythms for developing jazz rhythms, funk rhythms. So you can say New Orleans is so important to figure it out, to make it your own. I played this groove. When you add rolls to it, I love rolls. one thing about New Orleans is very important. It is not really the straight 8th, 16th note feel. It isn't the really swing feel. It's kind of in between. Back in '94, I had lessons with Chris Lachinak. He was from New Orleans, and he told me, okay, about this in-between feel. He said, there is this Mardi Gras festival, carnival, and people drink a lot, and these drummers don't really think, okay, let's play officially. It's kind of in between. Kind of sloppy feel. That was the word he used. I love it. When I play it with 8th note to 16th note, in jazz, it would be this. Subdivisions in clear 8th triplets. When you play this sloppy feeling, it's kind of in between triplets and straight 16th notes. Now back to this polyrhythmic stuff. It's fun to use it here. I try to demonstrate it. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let me talk about these groupings of 3 adapted to jazz. Because my book is mainly about binary groups, 2 or 4, and the next book will be about ternary groups, more about 3 and 6 and so on. But you can use this swing feel as well in, for example, groups of 3. And then I don't play triplets. Let me demonstrate this. I started with this group of 3 notes. Remember? And I can play that in pop or funk. When I play this more funky hi-hat, and I change this into swing feel. A little faster. Okay, and so on. So it's important to play whether the straight feel or the swing feel. Okay. It's so funny because I was thinking on the title of this book, and I've studied a lot of the cook book. I thought, okay, let me write a grill book. So I refer to Mel Bay's famous jazz cookbook. I was so lucky yesterday. I went to a concert here in New York with a village orchestra with John Riley. Whenever you want to learn about jazz, buy his books, check him out. The Art of Bob Drumming, Part 1, Art of Bob Drumming, Part 2. And last month, I was lucky to meet Mike Clark. He's a guest teacher of the Prins Claus Conservatory in Groningen, where I live. We call it Groningen, but you call it Groningen. And he was there, and we exchanged books. I gave him my book, and he has written the post-Bob drumming book. Fantastic book by that book. Okay, back to Steve Gadd, David Garibaldi, Mike Clark as well, with the Headhunters. I mentioned Rick Latham. A very important part is playing linear grooves. Linear, you don't play all things at the same time. You play right hand, left hand. How do you call it in English? Sometimes I'm okay. When I'm back in the plane, and okay, that was the word. But let me introduce you to linear grooves. You have to study linear grooves, especially when you want to play fusion and funk music. It's also based on groupings. So when I play groupings of 4, remember it was this. Now when I play the same figure with my right hand on the hi-hat, it will sound like this. A little faster. With all the inversions, I skip that to groupings of 3. I make it to a linear groove. I play exactly the same notes. When you play these figures and you want to play it in a band, don't play it like this. You get fired in the band. So try to play it with dynamics, articulation. Yeah. I'll give you an example of what I mean. So instead of these, it sounds much more smooth, even when you play it faster. I play a lot of ghost notes with my left hand. I love it. I hope you too. Okay, back to the 5s. Again, the same structure. Adapted to linear grooves, I play only the hi-hat now on, right hand on the hi-hat. Play exactly the same groups of 5. A little faster. Now, to my personal favorite, the 7. The 7 on the snare was... Now play it as a linear groove. Right hand to the hi-hat. Okay, I hope you enjoy it, as I do. Okay, linear grills as well. You heard me already playing some toms, but now really the fun is going to start. When you play linear, you can also, for example, combine these hi-hat notes with toms. I start with group of 3. Faster. Yeah, okay. Enough for this linear chapter. I'd like to go to the 32nd Street, not a 32nd Street. We were there yesterday. We were at 42nd Street. New York is amazing. We were in Times Square with my lovely family, and I must say I had the best time of my life. And also here to share this knowledge with you, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it very much, and I hope you do as well. Back to 32nd Street. That is how it called. Who is the guy who makes it all up? These funny names. Okay. 42nd Street, 32nd notes. Again, back to groupings of 4. What I do, the first 2 snare drum notes, will I double. So I will that make, oh no, I'm talking about 16th note. And the first 2 notes, of course, I make it to 32nd notes. I can play this fast 32nd notes as a single stroke or as double stroke. When you play metal, rock, and you have toms 16, 18-inch, I think you better play these single strokes. I'm a more jazz type of guy with not with smaller toms. I prefer the doubles. And I love listening to Steve Gadd, Dave Weckl, and Keith Carlock. He has such phenomenal doubles. I enjoyed it very much. Okay, let me demonstrate this. Again, groups of 4. Back to the group of 3. When I play these type of fills in 7, again, 7 was 4 and 3. When I play this particular leg faster, one of my favorites. Okay. I think I'll end up with improvisation. I studied classical percussion, and I had to play all these notes. I had to reproduce all these notes into music. And actually, I want to play I prefer to play my own fills instead of tom 1, 2, 3. It's actually very difficult to read it and to make it into music. And most of the time, when you play transcriptions, you play the music of Steve Gadd, Dave Weckl, Vinnie Colaiuta, all the heroes. The biggest advantage of playing groupings and making your own coloring is you can make it your own. And that's what is most important, that you create your own creativity. So don't play my fills. I only give some examples, but make it your own. And there is a wonderful saying of Picasso. I wrote it down. I got it from Peter. Keep in mind the ultimate purpose of the Drum Grillbook. 1, express yourself on the drum set in a more creative way. Use your own coloring, phrasing, and articulation. Dynamics as well, very important. Find your own drum sound. And that might be the most important thing I want to learn, to learn you. Back to Picasso, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. I love it. Okay, I'll end up with a short solo. I was starting to talk about improvisation. Very important is you don't have any technical issues, problems with that. So don't let your technique stand in the way to express yourself. Important is learn the rudiments so you can play anything. Combinations of doubles, singles, paradiddles, and so on. The same thing about integration, bass drum integration. The bass drum as a third voice. And so on. I love these masters of creativity. Peter Erskine. I was so incredible happy with his feedback on my book. I still am grateful for that. And I've heard Joey Barron from New York playing such an incredible creative master, Bob Moses. I had one lesson with him. I will never forget that. Paul Motion, more actual. Nasheed Waits, masters of creativity. And start to listen to them, check them out. You won't regret it. As I said before, use your own coloring, dynamics, articulations, and most important, make phrases. I think music is a language, so tell stories. Try to tell your own story on the drum set. I'd like to end with a solo. I was looking for this CD. It's a double CD. About 2 years ago, we recorded this double CD in 1 weekend. It was amazing. We have worked hard to record it in that short period of time. It's actually my band. It's a Kladwerk 3. It's a work of Klad, a fantastic pianist, Boelo Klad from Groningen. Check him out. Check us out with Jan Ruud, Oosterhaven on bass. And you can find it on Spotify. And you can hear myself playing instead of teaching. Okay, I end up with a solo, kind of a solo that I play here. And I really hope you have enjoyed this clinic. As said before, I end up with this solo. Before, I want to thank Drummers Collective, SoundCollective. I must not forget one thing, how to get the book. You can get a book buying from myself. And especially digital, you can get the book digital by Hudson Music of Rob Wallace. So go check it out, buy the book, and I hope you will enjoy the book. Okay, I'll end up with a solo. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.